There is no other provision, particularly after the declaration of the results, for the Electoral Commission to do what it is doing. In fact, Mensa has become a danger to our democracy because, you see, she cannot be a law unto itself. The Electoral Commission is subject to the Constitution and subject to regulation CI 127. CI 127 is very clear that where results are declared, it is not up to the Electoral Commission or the Electoral Commissioners to decide to ignore, to validate or not validate that declaration, because the declaration is in pursuance of CI 127. The Constitution is very clear in Article 99, Clause 1, Paragraph A, thereabout, that where a person is aggrieved or there is a challenge in respect of whether or not the parliamentary seat or election to a parliamentary a member of parliament is in doubt, the High Court stays with the original jurisdiction in this matter. So where parliamentary results of parliamentary elections are in doubt in some respective constituencies, any person aggrieved with the declaration conducted by officials of the EC, the forum convenience to remedying the matter is the High Court. Now, it is interesting that even though the EC has been sued and has been properly served, in fact, in one of the cases brought against the EC by the NDC, the matter is slated for tomorrow. At the High Court in Accra, General Jurisdiction, particularly General Jurisdiction 2, the matter is slated to be heard tomorrow. And yet, EC conducts itself in a manner that I will call contempt ex facie, curiae, by holding this press conference, particularly ignoring the court processes that seeks to injunct this very conduct. The NDC is saying that in respect of these 4 or 5 constituencies that have been listed among the 9, we are challenging the EC from conducting itself in a manner to saying, for instance, that they will not recognize the declaration. The recognition or otherwise of those declarations doesn't lie in the mouth of the EC. It lies with the court of law. Only a court of law can declare those declarations as unlawful, and therefore whether or not a rerun of the election or recollation or whatever it is, it can only be ordered by a court of law, a court of competent jurisdiction. So the EC the commissioners must be very careful. And I say this advisedly, because you see, under Regulation 45 of CI 127, that is the penal provision. The penal provision is to the effect that it is not, the regulation is to the effect that where a person conducts himself, which breaches any provision of CI 127, the person upon summary conviction can be fined by a court of law, or can be imprisoned, or can be both fined and imprisoned. And it is not directed at the public at large. That provision also applies to EC officers, including the commissioners of EC, who will conduct themselves in a manner that breaches any provision of CI 127. Their insistence on recollation, which is very strange, which is alien to CI 127 and PNDC law 284, they are engaging in a conduct that will breach CI 127. And I'm cautioning them that tomorrow they may be hauled before a court of law in criminal prosecution, subject to the provisions contained in Regulation 45, which is the penal provision. So we must be law-abiding, not only as the participants in the elections, but the people who are also engendered in law under CI 127 to conduct the public elections in accordance with the terms and tenets of the law governing it. The EC is provoking everybody. The EC is particularly provoking the NDC, because these are seats that have been declared for the NDC candidate. And we are saying if anybody wants to challenge the outcome of these declarations, the forum is the High Court, not press conferences. that it is baffling and befuddling that the EC's insistence on recollating these results, which is alien to our laws. In fact, they held a press conference 4 days ago, chaired by Mr. Samuel Tete, and he made these pronouncements. This provoked the NDC to institute an action at the High Court. They appear to be ignoring the court processes, and today the EC chair herself has come out to issue another threat that willy-nilly they will hold this recollation. Recollation cannot be done by the EC alone. So the call on the sitting president to provide them security is in itself a pointer to the fact that they are engaged in a conduct that is contumacious of the powers of the law underpinning the regulation of public elections, which is CI 127. And the EC must be very careful, because there will be EC chairpersons, and there will always be EC chairpersons after Jean Mensa. Her conduct tomorrow and those of other conniving commissioners and directors at the EC may be reviewed in the process.